What if the secret to reaching your next milestone wasn't about working harder, but investing smarter? In this episode of Monetizing Your Influence, we're diving into how investing in yourself through courses, coaches, and resources can save you time, provide clarity, and accelerate your progress. Stay tuned because by the end of this episode, you will have actionable strategy to fast track your success. This episode is for you who's feeling stuck or feeling overwhelmed by the journey of trying to get to your next big goal. I'll be sharing with you how strategic investment can truly unlock clarity and direction and cut years off your timeline. Now, remember, stick around to the end for my exclusive opportunity to grab my CPR Challenge System and take the first step towards your goal. This CPR Challenge System is to help you create consistent, predictable revenue. So you don't want to miss that. Now, let me just kind of tell you why I wanted to have this conversation. This conversation today is all about moving further faster. Now, if you listen to my first podcast, I wanted to name the podcast Further Faster from day one. But we end up changing it to Monetizing Your Influence. So welcome again to my second podcast. I am so excited for you to be here. Now, the purpose of me wanting to name this episode Further Faster is because I remember like it was yesterday sitting at my table at my conference. I host a conference called Unleashing Your Inner CEO conference. And at that conference, I had my table set out, and at my table was my sales team, my mom, my husband, and my stepfather. And we're sitting there at the table listening to the sales team tell us they're calculating everything that how many new clients we have, how much impact we made, how many people attended. And their job is to give us the numbers at the end of the conference, right? Now, this conference, this was my first time hosting my conference that year. That was my first time hosting it. So this is going to be like the foundation for the next conference to come and so on and so forth. And I remember Dr. Ali, love her dearly. I remember her sitting there. She says, "Hey, do you want the number?" And I'm like, "Yeah, give it to me or don't give it." I was scared to know. I was scared to know what my revenue and profit number was. And with that being said, she says, "Hey, I just want to let you know that your revenue, your sales in one day was $250,785 in one day." You heard that right. That was my revenue number that I had made. So if it's $252,785, that conference cost me about around $15,000, right? So I made, after we take away the $15,000 that the conference made for videographer, location, all the overheads, I walk away with $235,785. Ladies and maybe gentlemen that may be listening to this, I was able to generate a six-figure day. I was able to generate, that was my first time ever being able to generate a six-figure day. Yes, I was just as surprised as you were. And my husband's sitting there, and I remember my stepfather saying, "Wait, is that in a day? Like, how long would it take for me to make that money?" Like, he literally, like, how long would it take for me, And he says, Did she just say that? I said, "Yes, she did." And let me tell you something. As exciting as generating a six-figure day was, I cannot not sit here and not express to you that would not have been possible from me, from my sales team, from my staff, unless I adapt the strategy of going further faster. Unless I had tried to do this on my own before. Yes, I am that girl that was getting all the free downloads, anything free PDF, free lead magnet, free. Listen, I was a free junkie. You put something out to download for free, I'm gonna grab it. I was that girl that opted into all the free masterclasses, any free webinars. I am opting in. But I will get the valuable information, but then I realized that I wasn't getting the whole pie. I was getting a piece of the pie. So that freebie left me frustrated. That freebie left me to the point where I'm like, it has to be another way. So if you're listening to me right now, you're saying, but Sherry, you have free PDF that you give away all the time. That is true. That is 100% true, because that's an introduction for you to know me more and know me a little bit better. And I'm not telling you not to offer your freebie, but understand freebie is not where it's at. If you're looking at the show and you're at this beautiful show, you're at a beautiful performance. Let's say you're at an Usher concert, and Usher is on stage and he got his little velvet thing on, and he got his velvet robe on, and he's giving you a dance, and he is showing out, and he's having him a mighty good time. The show is awesome. It's pretty. It's gorgeous. It's loving. It got all sort of passion in it. But behind the scenes is where you want to be. You want to be behind the scenes. That's why people love going backstage, behind the scenes, because they know how they were able to come up with that show. The answer is behind the scenes. It is behind the scenes. And through my pure frustration of always getting a piece of the pie and not the whole pie, getting the crumbs, I knew there's no way I'm going to be profiting $235,785 in one day if I keep just getting freebie and then call myself want to go further faster. So in that frustration, I said, I have to do better. I have to literally do better. I have to figure out another way. And that's when the shift happened for me. That's when I decided that, what do I want to do? What do I want to learn? And the first thing that came to mind for me is for me to invest in learning how to build my email list, in learning how to create a community. So I started investing in coaches, and I started investing in courses. And when I started investing in that, and I remember my first ever coach, her name was Dawn Mars. Her name is Dawn Mars. Shout out to Dawn. And Dawn was the queen of automation. And I remember saying to myself, again, the idea here is to go further, faster. So I invested in Dawn's 6-figure revenue because why? I wanted to make 6 figures. Now, mind you, that 6-figure a day, I had already made a 6-figure year. I already made $101,000. So I went from $101,000 in a year to making $235,785 in a day. In a day. All because I was willing to adapt the further, faster strategy. And we're going to dive deep into that. And Dawn was selling. When I invested in her, she was my first coach. She was selling something called the Entreport software, where we're no longer using Entreport, we're using Go High Level. And when we were using the Go High Level, we were using Entreport. I wanted something to where I can host my email list. Notice I said the first step I knew was I need to build an email list. I do not own Facebook. I don't own any of these platforms. So I need to really invest in building my email list. And the first step is to get that. Matter of fact, you know what? I will drop the Go High Level link if you're looking for a CRM, and the best in the world, because you're able to have maybe I need to do a video, another podcast on that. But the idea here is Dawn set the foundation for me with her coaching program. Had I not purchased her coaching program, I would not have been where I am when it comes to automation, because she created a course on a step-by-step tutorial on how to automate your email list. So learning from her on how to automate my email list was the first foundation in years to come in me getting my 6-figure day. Do you see how all of that came full circle? Do you see how all of that allowed me to move further and faster? So that's why whenever you are going in a milestone, there's something else you want to accomplish, whether it is you want to build your email list, you want to create a challenge, you want to do a webinar. I don't know about you, but one thing I try to do, and I always will do this, I will buy the course or I will coach with the coach that teach me that specific thing. So for example, right now I am coaching with one of my coaches. I'm just so proud of her. And she just hit her 7-figure, and she teaches us how to use Facebook ads. So Facebook ads was one of those things that to me, that's how people are with automation. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to learn ads. I just don't want to learn it. But the minute I said, this is holding me up for my goal, and I have to just face it as my fears and step into it, I invest in a coach, paid 5 figures to learn how to do Facebook ads, and have got more than my money's worth. The value that I've learned is just amazing, right? But that's further ahead. The value I just learned is amazing. But again, anytime there's a milestone that I want to accomplish in my business, I don't hesitate. I don't hesitate to ask the right questions and find out who is an expert in that space. And I go after it because I've already been on the other side of knowing the results that I will get from learning this. So it doesn't bother me to invest. And it should be the same way with you. If you're calling yourself to get further faster, it should be the same exact way when it comes to you. You want to get to a point where you're able to still go further faster by investing in courses that teach you the next step. That's the takeaway I want you to have here. And if you are moving further faster, one of the things that I have always taught, I don't know if you guys listen to Myron, if you listen to Myron Golden, you'll hear him talk about the opportunity of time. Like time, you can get money back, but you can't get time back. And because you cannot get time back, your goal is to figure out how to be wealthy faster. That is your goal. Your goal is to figure out how to be wealthy faster. So therefore, in the tools that you use to make money, those tools have to help you move faster. Those tools has to make you move faster in getting in front of your ideal client, faster in converting them to a sale. You don't have time to be nurturing people and hopefully they turn into a sale. We don't have time to that. We have time where they meet you on the internet today, come to something that you're hosting, and then become a sales tomorrow, right? And when you understand that concept and that belief that you don't have to be nurturing people all day for them to say yes to you, the way you attack things becomes different. And when I listen to Myron talk about that, I say, yeah, I don't have time to send out 10 emails for them to say yes to me. No, I don't have time for that. But so I would rather create an event where they can get to know me and get to see if I'm a good fit with them. And if I'm not, great, they can come off the email list. But if they are, yeah, great. Let's hang out, because I'm trying to move further faster. And my clients who wants to work with me, they're trying to move further faster. And this is exactly when you heard me talk about my CPR Challenge system. The purpose was the most powerful way to move further where people get to know you faster is in a challenge, in a 5-day challenge where they're able to get to know you, get to know who you are, position you as an expert, and move on. Like, hey, let's go. You're the one I want to work with. You got information, because you're providing your expertise in a 5-day challenge and move further. And that's why I made available the CPR Challenge System, because in that process, this is the same type of investment that transformed my life This is the same strategy I use in my business. And this is the same strategy I teach my clients who are in 6-figure revenue experience or they're in Unleash Her. It's all about moving further faster. And studies have shown that people who invest in professional development are 65% more likely to achieve their goal faster. 65%. So let's kind of touch on why self-investment accelerates success. Why is it that the person that you're paying attention on social media, they have a coach and they move faster? Why is that? And for me, a coach or a course provides some type of roadmap. And I think like with these 3 keys, make sure you're writing them down. Number 1 is clarity. Because in the clarity, a coach or a course provide a clear roadmap so you can avoid wasting time in trial and error. So when my clients meet with me, we meet twice a month if they're in 6 figures, and every week if they're in Unleash Her. And so they can go out, try something, give us the feedback, and we're like, let's change it. Let's do this. But if you don't have that help and you're trying to do it on your own, you don't have somebody helping you avoiding wasting your time, because I got to try this, I got to try that. And that's not typically how it works. So to avoid that, you have clarity. A coach provides that clear roadmap, and the course provides that clear roadmap. The next thing is accountability. When you invest investment creates a commitment, and it ensures that you take action and stay on track. And that commitment to yourself, now understand, it's not the coach committing to you, it's you making that commitment to yourself. And the first commitment you make is in that transaction. You can't have a transformation without a transaction, because a transaction give you permission to open the door, and it give you permission to step in to see the behind the scenes of how that coach or how that thing, it can help you move to your next milestone. But it's still up to you to hold yourself accountable, to be disciplined, to execute on the strategy that is given to you. So clarity, accountability, and my third one, access to the expertise. This one is a game changer when we're talking about the 3 keys of benefits of investing in yourself. The access to expertise, you gain insight, shortcuts from people who have already achieved what you're striving to achieve. And I have a client of mine who also used my CPR Challenge System to reach her goals faster. And one of my clients, Catherine, she came into my Unleash Her program. And as she came into my Unleash Her program, Catherine was a whole year just kind of like observe what the strategy is. Because again, everybody take a different time to move. Everybody take, move at their own time. So when she attended my Unleash Her, and she attended some of my conferences, and I remember her saying, "Hey, I want to do a brunch." She said, "I want to do a brunch." And I'm like, okay. So she want to create an environment where you're selling one-to-many. And she used the CPR Challenge System, right? And she created her own event. And from that brunch, that brunch was $2,000 for her brunch, the overhead costs. But that brunch turned into a sale of $21,000. All about selling one-to-many. Now that she did the brunch, she says, okay, I think I can do a conference. And then from that brunch, she said it gave her the courage to do a conference. And when Catherine did the conference, she closed out her conference with $75,000. $75,000. Now, I can't report what her overhead cost is, but I know it was under $15,000 for her overhead costs. So that should just kind of tell you the power of creating consistent, predictable revenue. And she said to me, she said, she was in the car with me, and she said, Sherry, she was at a brunch because she hosts a brunch for one of all her speakers at her conference, and I was one of her speakers. And she says, you know what I realized? All I have to do is to do 2 of these things a year in a conference, do 2 of these one-to-many model challenge conference event, and I'll be set. And I'm like, yes, exactly. Exactly. She got it. Catherine got it. But she wouldn't have gotten it had she not also had invested in herself. So I cannot emphasize enough how the investment saved her time and frustration in learning the behind the scenes of how to make money faster, how to go further faster. And I just applaud her for doing that. So let's talk about some actionable strategy to start investing in yourself, because I know right now we're looking at economy and people are like, oh my God, nobody's spending money. I want you to tell you, if that's what you're saying to yourself, if that's a belief system you're holding, I want to hold space for you right now, because that's a lie. That's a lie. I bought 4 courses the other day because I not only wanted to learn ads, I also wanted to get better with my automation system. So I just bought another course for email automation, and then I bought another course for ads on top of me being in a mastermind. I will buy a course for what I need to learn the skills of what I need in a heartbeat. So I am an example, and the people who are purchasing my courses and the people who are out there they're buyers. They're people who are still buying. The circles that I am in, my mastermind sisters who are over the 7-figure level, they're buying. 6-figure level, they're buying. Because why is that? They understand the importance that if you're looking for somebody to invest in your expertise, you have to also invest in somebody else's. And the more important things, you don't know what you don't know. And when you purchase something like a course or coaching or a resource, it open up the secret to the things that you don't know. Yesterday, I was on a call, listen to a presentation that while I'm done here, I'm getting ready to purchase a podcast course because our business has shifted to podcast. So please don't think that before I went into doing podcasts that I'm not going to get a podcast course to make sure that I'm doing the podcast right. So once we shift to say, hey, I'm going to be sharing knowledge on a podcast, the first thing I did, this is not my area of expertise. Hosting challenges is my area of expertise. Selling one-to-many is my area of expertise. Monetizing my influence is my area of expertise. So therefore, the first thing I did, I said, I have to find a course. And you need to be saying the same thing about your business. What is the next thing? Do you need to learn how to do email lists? Do you need to know how to do a challenge that's going to grow your business faster? What is the next thing that you need to do? You need to figure out these steps. I'm going to show you the actionable strategy to start investing in yourself. Let's go. So steps to get started. Number 1, I want you to identify your milestone. What is the next big goal you want to achieve? Because I guarantee you, whatever that next big goal is, there is a coach or a course that can help you and get you the information faster. How was I able to lay on my couch and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to relaunch a podcast. Got up off my couch, and guess what? Recorded a podcast, and it was up by 2:00. Recorded a podcast, got it out there in Apple, got it out there in Shopify, got it out there on YouTube. That's what I didn't wait for permission. I watched the masterclass. As soon as I finished watching the free masterclass, she had an offer. I said, boom, I'm getting an offer. I got my stuff ready, and here I am on a podcast. Within one day, a podcast was launched. I identified that what is my marketing strategy going to be for in 2025? It's going to be a podcast. It's going to be part of the way I make an impact to other people. And once I said that to myself, I said, okay, who knows this thing? And once I said that, who knows this thing and who can teach me this thing? Boom, it was up. I didn't waste time. Imagine if we stop having money trauma and start looking at ways how identifying a milestone and what's the next big goal you want to achieve. Imagine we can do that, how further we would be, and then research the investment by looking for the course, looking for the mentor, looking for the resource that's aligned with you. And then that's number 2, research the investment, looking for courses, looking for mentor. And number 3, take action. Commit to making the investment and trust the process. There's so many, and let me just put a caveat on this. There's so many people that will do the investment, but won't do the work. And then they'll say, oh, I didn't make any money. You didn't make your money because you did not do the work. I can proudly say this. I don't know how proud I am of this. If someone said that they work with me, which I haven't heard yet, I haven't heard that, and they did not achieve, they did not learn anything, they didn't get anything, they didn't grow from that, that's a lie. I never had that. But the idea here is I can tell you this, that everyone who has put in the work got a results. 90% of the times when a person say, I bought a course that didn't work, they didn't do the work. I have never, ever in my life bought any course that's going to help me with a specific skill that did not work. Because I had learned, like I bought a course that talked about how to do reels on social media. And this lady she does eyebrows. Now, she's not in my niche, but she knew about doing content creation. And content creation is not my thing. Again, I'm more about selling one to many. So again, I bought a course of someone who's more expert in content creation than I am, because that's how I learn. And I bought her course. Her course was like $97. It's even more than my CPR Challenge System. But let me tell you something. Most of her topics was for the lifestyle brand that she has, the makeup, the hair weaves and all that. But what I did learn from her is how to set my cell phone camera with the grid. If it wasn't for her course, I walk away with learning how to keep my cell phone in balance so it's not upside down or shaky. Just her tutorial on how to put a grid on my camera so I'm always in the middle of my camera, that alone was worth the $97. That alone was worth it. So not to mention did I invest, but I also took action in applying what I learned on the course. So if you're truly ready to go further, faster, I really want to introduce you to the CPR Challenge System because it's a perfect starting point for you. If one of your goals is to attract leads and generate consistent income, my CPR Challenge System is designed to do just that. It's a proven system to help you create consistent, predictable revenue through challenge-based marketing. Now, let me just kind of speak to the fear of you feeling like you're wasting money. I think I addressed that earlier. No such thing. No such thing. Let me just speak to that fear for a second, because when you invest in a course, you learn something new that you didn't know before. Something new that you did not learn before. The people that I hang around, I keep saying, okay, everybody have a different company that they hang around. I've never heard them say, I bought this course and I did not learn anything. Each thing that you learn, even in our CPR Challenge System, in learning how to go, we have different cash infusion, bonus secrets of cash infusions that we have inside of the course that we teach you how to make cash, how to make money now. And here's another fear of wasting money. If there's no such fear as wasting money when you had the experience. So let's say you go to a restaurant and the food wasn't good and you pay for the food and you walk away. And you're like, oh my God, I waste money on that food. No, you didn't. You had the experience of walking in that restaurant. You had to, let's say you go to Disney World. Oh, Disney World was so high, the price. Oh my goodness. You had the experience of seeing Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and all these people and all these people. Why? Because there's somebody that can't even walk, can't even go to Disney World because it's so expensive. So the fact that you even get that experience, how can you say that there's wasting money? You got a new way to learn. And also another fear that comes up is I'm not feeling ready. Now, let me say this to that fear. When will you be ready? Because we know we can't get time back. We know we can get money back, but we can't get time back. So when will you be ready? When will you be ready? I had a girlfriend of mine, and she says she kind of beat herself because she was in a mastermind and she paid all this money in a mastermind and she didn't go all the way in as she should. But then she looked around all the people who had done the mastermind, and she says who was in her group, they all went on to be successful in their own space. But she's the only one out those, I think it was 4 of them, that's still stagnant and bought another mastermind. And she just look at how successful they are now, and she's still not there yet. And she said she could beat herself up because she started with those people, and those are the trailblazer now. You don't want those type of testimonies. You want to be in the group of people who are further ahead. So let me speak to you for saying you're not feeling ready in investing in yourself. By you saying that, you're subconsciously saying, I'm not ready for success. I'm ready to be stuck. I'm ready to be mediocre. I'm ready to be the best kept secret. That's what you're subconsciously saying. And more importantly, you're also saying, I'm not ready to help the people that I'm called to help. I'm not ready. And if you're doubting whether it's worth it to learn how to make money faster, is what you're doing right now, is it working? Because you always learn. It's either working for you or on you. Is it working for you right now? And I think these wasting time, not feeling ready, and these doubts are exactly why some of us have not moved further yet, and why we can hear the success of others, because people who are high achieving people, high value people, high functioning people don't say those things there. Those objections don't come to their mind. Fear is normal, but staying stuck is far more costly. The truth is, every successful person you admire has invested in themselves at some point. It's how they go where they are. According to Forbes, 85% of successful entrepreneurs attribute their success to continuing self-education and mentorship. Investing in yourself isn't about spending, it's about multiplying. Every dollar and every minute you put into growth pays dividend in clarity, speed, and results. And if this is something that you are ready to learn, how to go further, faster, ready to take the first step, grab my CPR Challenge System. It's the ultimate guide to generate leads and income faster than ever before. It's time to invest in yourself and see just how far you can go. Now, my link is below, so make sure you grab the link right now inside the description of this podcast. Investing in yourself provide clarity, accountability, and expertise. And I'm just going to kind of recap some things that we talk about. Investing in yourself is also the fastest way to reach your next milestone. Fear is normal, but the payoff is so worth it. You have everything it takes to succeed. And I'm saying that to you, and I know why fear sometimes stand in the way, which is why we made the CPR Challenge System at this point, at this special, $27. That's why we made it so low, because the barrier of entry should be simple so you don't have to second guess yourself, because we know the money trauma that comes up for you. But we also know that you need the resource to overcome the money trauma. That's why we made the barrier of entry to learning how to sell one-to-many, learning how to create a challenge, a 5-day challenge that you can showcase your expertise. That's why we made it the barrier of entry so low, so the excuse of money trauma don't come up. You just need the right tools and guidance to get there faster. Let's make it happen. I'll see you on the next episode of Monetizing Your Influence.